The main purpose of this documentary is to bring a homeopathy world together through an experiences of Indian homeopath and share the experiences, the knowledge of these three iconic personalities to share and feel their world, the Shabad.
India is leading the world today. There's a beautiful joke. The Chinese president, American president, and the Russian president met along with our Prime Minister Modi ji. They asked the question, who is leading the world? So each one started claiming that they are the world leaders. Mr. Modi, being a wise man, he said, I don't know who leads the world, but the head of Citibank is Indian, head of Microsoft is Indian, head of Google is Indian. So there are more than 100 CEOs of the world's Fortune 500 company are Indians. Now you decide who leads the world. In homeopathy, for sure, India leads the world. Why?
We are leading in homeopathy not because of muscle power, but the very fact is that we accept new and nurture it so that science remains progressive.
Because we have the largest number of institutions, we have largest number of practitioners, we have largest number of students, we have a full-time syllabus which runs for 5.5 years. No other country in the world runs, and we have a full-fledged Ayush ministry which gives importance to homeopathy just like any other system. And we are going to have very soon the institutions which are the topmost institutions of the world, like IIM, and such beautiful institutions will be coming up for our systems of medicine.
If you talk of the new age science of drug, pharmacy or healing agents, there are three important ingredients of that. Number one, the drug has to be only acting at the target cells. Number two, you should require minimum quantity of a dose. Third thing, you should root from the source, and other than that, there should be no side effect or minimum side effect. What the modern medicine drug agents talk. All old medicines, be it penicillin or any, they are outdated with the new ones because they want to have drugs that act on target cells. They are minimum and they act to the root and they work in a short term for any situation. Now homeopathy offers the same. It has law of minimum, it has less side effects or no side effects if it's taken in a right perspective by experts, and also it goes to the root of illness. Homeopathy, the modern science.
The purpose of yours is, number one, to improve the standard of practice.
Yes.
And number two, improve the standard of life and living of every physician.
Every homeopath.
Every homeopath. And when these two are at higher level, the human life itself will be in a higher level. Because you are going to create a so-called healthy society,
Yes.
by providing such a services.
For next 10 years, I want to give my life entirely for making homeopathy a household household name. That is my mission, that is my vision, and God has given me a lot of energy, and I want to use this energy for making homeopathy available in every home.
If I divide the world population into most needy patients who are in emergency requirement, maybe ICU or operative surgeries, they're hardly 0.0001%. Then patients who are admitted in hospital, not requiring emergency, are another some percent. The remaining ones, which are into preventive with small deviations or certain illnesses, for which they are not attending physicians, there are a whole lot under the requirement umbrella of homeopathy. That's our biggest, we call in the modern language, the market. The market share that homeopathy has is preventive, also for chronic illnesses and not very acute diseases, but definitely large share is preventive areas or complaints like hair fall and acne and chronic backache and PCODs where the hospitalization is not required, but people are struggling with modern medicine with no solutions or limited solutions.
There is a big technology which is coming,
Yes.
very big technology, the meta technology, by which you can talk to 1,000 students and as if they are there with you, and you can have the patient simultaneously just next to you, and this technology will be available very soon. There are big organizations who have invested huge amount. So now your teaching will reach to 10,000 people in one shot, and as if they are sitting next to you and learning. And also you will be able to have the patient next to you. Patient may be from Germany, from Poland, from Holland, or from Timbuktu. So you will be able to take live interviews, you'll be able to explain the organon, you'll be able to explain the materia medica, and the breach, the repertorization can be also used at the same time. Sir, that is why I'm saying next 5 years is going to be a revolutionary. And you know how beautifully the IIT Bombay has proved that there is a beautiful substance, Dr. Bilare and his team, that there is a substance even in 200 potency, even in 1M potency. Sir, that is why we must embrace technology, prove to the world that homeopathy is very effective, and you can't leave the diamond for a dust.
Vision through projects. One is reproving of remedies and create amendments authentic from present context. Two, clinical research. That is, asthma can be cured when you have 10,000 patients of asthma cured. Rheumatoid arthritis looked after. Results. Psoriasis looked after. So whole documented results. Two. One is drug proving, documented results. Three, interaction among doctors to share their experiences. Four, I urge leaders and the governments to allocate energies in the form of maybe funds or the infrastructure or existing infrastructure. Let there be operation of homeopathy and operation in teaching learning module in them. The key word is knowledge. And knowledge, not information, through experience. And I know very clearly, over 70 years, homeopathy survived in India because there was people who were experiencing results. If the beginning is awareness, result, experience of the result, knowledge, and they would like to know it. Meanwhile, start treating. World is small and There are platforms which can give you medicine anywhere in the world. There are digital platforms you can start seeing, healing, talking to a patient all over the world. Use technology, use digital, use talking to the patients far off. Look, I know there's a word marketing, but I changed the word to caring. Market for caring is a key. To start caring, give experience of healing, give the knowledge that I'm healed. They are the people who will go towards knowing better homeopathy. Institutions and homeopathy is level 2. India has achieved a lot, and that structure can be transferred to developing countries first and then developed countries. I know good of developing countries is they easily get into what is hope and faith to you and me from India. So I don't say the poor are bad, but developing countries, they have more faith and trust in you and you treat them, and that's going to create fundamentals. Increase the customer base, increase the patient who are wanting your needs, who want homeopathy as a system.
There are 30 official languages in India. Many homeopathic colleges. There are around 250 medical institutes that teach homeopathy and that produce homeopathic doctors. So they have developed some new ideas like camps, medical camps, knowledge giving programs in the local language of people. And many people include local singers, local TV stars, local movie stars to spread a good word about homeopathy.
JAYWANT has been with homeopathy.
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly, ऊपर नीचे साथ में. Plus he worked for one of the colleges in Thane district to motivate interior or rural, and he helped us work into 62 villages for motivating for the hospital as a teaching material of patients. And we were in touch with police parties.
All police
and he
party,
motivated
65 police party in Wada Jilla, Wada district, the 65 police party.
And he was instrumental in that.
And Jai Patel's idea, he will call for the local people. So the police party came.
Arogya Apala Dari.
Arogya Apala Dari is slogan.
Health at your doorstep.
Yeah.
In rural India, actually.
Yes, it's very.
And it's innovative for any system to be in rural, especially in India.
Yes.
Where we proclaim that we are more rural than urban, minus the typical cities, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Madras, and tier 2 cities like Pune, Nasik or Lucknow or whatever capital of states. So going to the villages and propagating homeopathy, which is of course preventive, or creating awareness, or the highest expression of homeopathy is acceptance.
You know that homeopathy is they can't give you a medicine immediately. The allopathy they can ये देखा वो देखा, then no, he always try to the history of the patient. So many we one setting, two setting, we have to talk with them.
We need new way of communication and new literature.
So today I am going to present homeopathic boss babies. Sina is irritating, Chamomilla is constantly weeping, Pulsatilla is sweet and playful, Natromir is unhappy and regretful, Calibrom and Stramonium is terrified, Sulphur's uncleanliness is horrified.
As well it becomes popular amongst the common man. We require new concepts to adapt. but keeping in mind that we do not temper our basic philosophy and concepts of homeopathy, and we progress on and on to make homeopathy acceptable globally. Thank you.
That's what I talk about. Homeopathy is the science of tomorrow, eternal, immortal, and not changing science. Newer medicines are going to be introduced. Concept will still remain at the level of nature's law. You might unfold or modify or understand nature much better and put it back to the books of homeopathic philosophy to create a sound, better, lasting health for the population, for the larger groups. That's the vision with which a homeopathic physician ought to take his stand for healing, take his stand as a physician.
See, for building a community or building a brotherhood, you should be always prepared to give before you take. And if all of us are ready to give, then we will be able to form a community. The biggest pain for me in homeopathy today is that it has become so much individualistic that there is hardly any group which interacts with other group. There are groups and schools, and those schools restrict themselves to only their people. It's time that we learn from everything and everybody. A smallest example which Dr. Kishore Mehta shared with me few minutes back, our teacher and a mentor, he said a very simple medicine, gunpowder, helped him to recover from a chronic ulcer in his mouth. Now this is a learning. If one is open to learning, that is the only way community builds. Everybody has to feel that he is a volunteer. He is not a president, he is not a secretary, he is not a treasurer. And I can tell you one thing, Shailendra, homeopathy is so big that all the homeopaths of last 200 years, even the next 200 years get combined, still the wisdom of homeopathy is much, 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 much bigger than any homeopaths combined. So if that humbleness comes in homeopaths, they will have a process of learning. They'll be able to bring a community. Stick to the purpose. Because if you do anything today, you will do everything in the same way. If you do anything in one particular way, you will keep on doing the same thing or different things in the similar way. You will keep on doing it. You will not change the style. And please, from a mediocre, become a celebrity. From mediocre, try to achieve extraordinary status. Only if we have this kind of, and stick to your purpose, If you are stick with single focus like Arjun, you will achieve anything and everything you desire. Because the nature will put the circumstances in that direction.
Yes, absolutely.
But people change the purpose. People change every week, every month. Then you cannot achieve.
When you are talking this, I really remember Dr. Hemans, to whom probably you have followed directly or indirectly. The first aphorism, mission and purpose. That is the first aphorism in itself. And afterward he said, if you want to have this aphorism in your life, go ahead, otherwise forget all.
Forget. He wants us on the first line.
That's very important.
Sir, I would say one more thing. Along with the mission, there has to be a vision.
Yes.
And along with that, there has to be passion. Unless you are passionate about doing something, you cannot
cannot.
achieve. And then you must have a desire to transform life of others who are with you. So create a wonderful, healthy, harmonious homeopathic world.
Aldous Huxley once said that every human being is like an island. We are complete in ourselves and we allow limited permeability to other islands. So through this documentary, Shabad, a word of wisdom, we have tried entering into mind space of these three iconic figures, Dr. Jay Patel, Dr. Jawahar Shah and Dr. Kishore Mehta. The take-home message of the documentary is how homeopathy was accepted in India, an Indian module of homeopathy. The same model could be applied globally. Through the wisdom of these people, we will be able to make a global community, a community that loves nature, natural healing and homeopathy. A message of universal brotherhood. Let there be light. Amen.